Hey there, Angular folks, and welcome back. Modern CSS variables are great until you have two Angular apps on the same page using the same one. Then one app can accidentally hijack the other app's styles. Well, Angular is adding a new way to prevent that with CSS variable namespacing. Let's take a look. Okay, here's the app that we'll be working with in this example. What we're looking at here is a simple storefront app. It has a product card, an add to cart button, and then down at the bottom, there's a support region. But the important detail is that this isn't all just one Angular app. The outer storefront is one Angular app, and this support widget is another, nested inside it. In a real-world setup, this could happen with a microfrontend, a widget embedded in a larger shell, or even a support or chat experience owned by another team. In this example, we have a subtle issue. This support button is supposed to be purple, but instead it's blue. So let's inspect the button to see what exactly is going on. Here, we can see the button background is coming from this rule. So it should use the primary color custom property if it exists, and if it doesn't, fall back to this purple color. But the browser is not using that fallback color because this color is defined in the parent. Here, we can see that it's inherited from the parent storefront styles. In some cases, that might be exactly what you want. Shared page-level theme tokens can be really useful, but in other cases, especially when these apps are owned by different teams or shipped independently, this kind of accidental token sharing can be a problem. And that's what this new upcoming Angular feature is designed to help with. Let's jump into the code. Here we can see that we're bootstrapping two separate Angular apps. First we have the storefront app, then we have the support widget. This probably wouldn't be structured exactly like this in a production micro front-end setup. You might have separately built bundles, module federation, a shell app, or some other integration layer. But for a minimal demo, this is perfect because it gives us two Angular applications on the same page without adding a bunch of unrelated complexity. Now, let's open index.html. Here, we have the storefront component. So the main thing rendered on the page is the storefront app. Now let's switch over to its template. Here, we've got the product image, category, title, description, and the add to cart button. And if we scroll down to the bottom, here we can see the support widget. So it's nested inside the storefront markup. That means, from the browser's perspective, the support widget is a descendant of the storefront app. And because CSS custom properties inherit, the support widget can inherit variables defined by the storefront. Now, let's open this component style sheet. Right here, we have this generic design token for primary color. This is the storefront app's primary color. And if we scroll down a bit, the primary button used by the add to cart button uses that same variable. So far, that all makes sense. The issue is that the nested support app also has a button that uses the same generic custom property name. If we switch over to the style sheet for the support widget and scroll down to the button styles, here we can see the issue with this background color. This is one of the tricky things about CSS variables. Angular's normal style encapsulation scopes selectors, but it does not make custom property names private. A CSS variable is still a CSS variable. If it's defined on an ancestor, descendants can inherit it, which is both a good and bad thing. Now, it looks like in the latest Angular pre-release, we're getting a way to fix this with CSS variable namespacing. The idea is that Angular can rewrite custom property names, so each Angular app gets its own namespace. So instead of both apps using a generic primary color, Angular can scope those variables to the individual apps themselves. Let's look at how we wire this up. First, we need to switch back over to the main TS. Here, I'm going to add a second argument with the application config object. Inside that object, I'll add a providers array. And then inside the array, I'll call this new provideCssVarNamespacing function. For the storefront app, I'll pass the namespace string store. So this says, when Angular compiles and renders CSS variables for this storefront app, use store as the namespace. Now, we need to do the same thing for the support app. I'll add the same configuration object. I'll add a providers array, call provideCssVarNamespacing, and pass the namespace support this time. Now, Angular can keep these custom properties from stepping on each other. Let's save and see what happens now. And now we can already tell something changed. The support button is purple. So that fallback color is finally being used the way the support widget expected. Let's inspect the button again. Now, Angular has transformed the custom property usage. So in the generated styles, we can see that this is now using the support-specific version of the variable. That means it's no longer accidentally reading the storefront app's primary color. And since the support app doesn't define its own value for this property, the browser uses the fallback purple color. That's exactly what we wanted here. Now, let's inspect the Add to Cart button. This one is still blue, which is correct. And we can see that it's using the storefront version of the primary color. So now the storefront button is using the storefront scoped custom property, and the support button is using the support scoped version. So even with the same original variable name in each app, Angular can isolate those names at runtime. So embedded apps don't accidentally share them. Now, there's one more important piece to this, because sometimes you do want a variable to be shared. And there's a subtle example of that in this demo. You may have noticed that when we enabled namespacing, the support widget's background changed. Let's inspect this component so you can see what I'm talking about. Here on the host, we can see that the background is using a namespaced custom property for the support app. But what if this specific value is not supposed to be private to the support widget? What if we are expecting this to come from a global theme token from the containing page? Well, Angular gives us an escape hatch for that too. Let's switch back over to the support widget CSS. Here we can see where this background is being set with this custom property. To opt this one variable out of namespacing here, we can just prefix this with --global. The double hyphen after global matters. This tells Angular, don't namespace this variable. Compile it back to the normal custom property name. That allows this support widget to intentionally inherit the page level token while in this namespaced mode. Let's save and go back to the browser. Now, the support widget background is properly applied. And if we inspect the support widget host, we can see that this custom property is no longer support prefixed. Then, if we click through to where the variable is coming from, we can see that it's coming from our global styles. So this gives us both sides of the feature. So that's the new CSS variable namespacing concept in Angular. CSS custom properties still inherit through the DOM, even across Angular app boundaries. So when multiple apps use the same generic variable names, collisions can happen. With this new feature, Angular can isolate those variables per app, and the global prefix gives you a clean opt-out. And if you're trying to keep up with modern Angular APIs like this, I also have a new Angular Signal Forms course available. It'll help you get comfortable with the new signal-based forms, APIs, and patterns. So check out the link in the description below. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.